Polypede works here. So, in chapter 1119, we see Topman Warcury jump off the coast of Egghead Island in order to ram the giant's ship in his boar form. What people have been talking about is how peculiar it is that a supposed devil fruit user is voluntarily jumping into the water. However, I don't think this is too odd because I think Warcury could have an ability similar to what Brook can do. Now, if you don't know, Brook, because he is a skeleton and being so light and in being so fast, he can run on the water. I think Warcury has a similar ability because Warcury is based off the Chinese spiritual creature known as the Fang Ji. The Fang Ji is described as a two-headed boar who can distribute great force. And in some accounts, it is known as a rain deity. Now, of course, you know that Topman Warcury's ability apparently has some sort of pyrokinetic aspect to it. I think the pyrokinetic aspect, the reason why he's on fire all the time, is a pun on his name. Because if you don't know, Warcury is in part based off Mercury. Mercury is the planet closest to the sun. Mercury is also an element, which is a metal that melts at room temperature. Mercury is also the name of the messenger deity in Roman mythology. Now, tying all these things together, I think for Topman Warcury, his emission of fire is a reference to the planet Mercury because the planet Mercury is always very, very hot and being the closest to the sun. Secondly, the reason why he could turn his tusks into blades is a reference to the metal Mercury, the element of Mercury. And thirdly, and this kind of ties back into the mythology of Fang Ji, I think he can walk on water. But the reason why I think this is actually twofold. Because one, I think the ability to walk on water is an approximation of the Fang Ji in Chinese mythology being a rain deity. So instead of summoning rain, perhaps Warcury is just able to ignore falling into the water upon meeting its touch. Because we've seen time and time again that devil fruit abilities do work underwater and on the water itself. So perhaps Topman Warcury, in being a mythical Zoan, presumably can just ignore physics and walk on the water surface. Additionally, this would be a callback to the Roman deity of Mercury because he is a deity of being a messenger and travel. So it would make a lot of sense that in this way, Warcury is able to travel in an unconventional way. In this case, being able to run on water. That's why he has no fear in charging the giant ship because the water does not affect him. And probably in order to drown him, you actually have to forcefully knock him into the water. This is why, too, I think Warcury is the second Gorosei to supposedly be taken out by Emeth, the giant robot, because he too is an obstacle that can chase the Straw Hats down, which is why he needs to be eliminated. Now, the third one that needs to be eliminated most likely is Nosturo, because Nosturo has the ability of cryokinesis. So he could most likely, like how Brook has done in the past, he could freeze the ocean and run on the ocean. We've also seen that he has some ability of moonwalk as well. So he too would be a problem that needs to be taken out, leaving the only two Gorosei unable to chase the Straw Hats into the ocean being Jupiter and Saturn. And with that being said, give me your thoughts.